Do you ever wonder what it would be like to meet you, how you would be perceived? So I think about death a lot. I like thinking about death. I'm reading this book called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I wanted something philosophical, like about death, because I think about death a lot and not in a morbid way. I'm actually very optimistic and positive that I like thinking about death, and maybe because I think about death and I acknowledge it and accept it, maybe that's why I'm so positive. I don't know. But the book is essentially about this guy that dies. You find out early on, so this isn't a spoiler, and goes to heaven essentially, and he meets all these different people that tell him about parts of his life, that help him make sense of his life. And some of the people are family members, some of them are colleagues, some of them are strangers, but that somehow have a link to him. And what I really like about this book is the fact that there are so many people we cross paths with daily that become part of different chapters of our lives. Even if they're not in our life anymore, they've shaped us in some way. Like the friends I've had in the past, the colleagues I've had in the past, they've all shaped me and shape us all in some way. And it's fascinating to then read this book where he's now died and he's meeting all of them, and he gets to see exactly how they've all like shaped him and made him who he is, and also like the butterfly effect, how they've like affected his story, in the sense that like even how he died, well, not necessarily directly how he died, but the where he worked and then where he died, all of that had a backstory that led to that moment in time where he's working there and then died. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but it's really fascinating. It's something I think about a lot. And yeah, I just found it really strange because before I read this book, I wrote something on my notes app. As a poet, I'm always having random thoughts, and then I write them. I'm like, I want to explore this. And the thought I had that I wanted to explore was, I wonder what it would be like to meet me, like if I didn't know me. And I wonder if you have that thought as well. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to meet you, how you would be perceived by a stranger, like the first time they interacted and got to know you? I don't know, it's something I think about a lot, because you can have perspectives from your friends, your family, or who you think you are, but it would be fascinating to know what it'd be like if someone was to just come up to you, meet you for the first time, and experience you for the first time. And this book kind of helped me answer that question a bit, in the sense that all these different people he interacted with all met different versions of him and had different understandings of him, the main character in the book. I've never read this author's books before, but it's got me thinking a lot. You'll see I have so many random bits bookmarked actually that have just got me like really thinking. I'm gonna read you one part. So he was talking about feeling like he had no control over his life, and that the choices he made weren't really his choices. I'll just read it to you. So he said, so this older woman, one of the people he meets in heaven, tells him, like, was it that bad working in the pier where he worked? And the main character, Eddie, says, it wasn't my choice. My mother helped. My mother needed help. One thing led to another. Years passed. I never left. I never lived nowhere else. Never made any real money. You know how it is. You get used to something. People rely on you. One day you wake up and you can't tell Tuesday from Thursday. You're doing the same boring stuff. Just like. So in this part, he sort of talks about how he feels like he's a victim of his circumstances, that his life, his family are the reason why he's living, or he lived the life he lived. In the past, I used to be like that as well, like, oh, I'm only in this situation because I had to be, or my circumstances, my upbringing, my trauma led to this. And then when I actually realised, you know what, I have free will, I have control over my life, that's when things started to change, and I was like, I'm going to take control of my destiny and how my life plays out. But a lot of us do get caught up in this, well, if my parents weren't this, if my family or life wasn't this, it could be this. But like, that possibility is still there, and you have that choice and that power to bring that possibility that you think is so unreachable to reality. Oh, there was another part that I really liked, and then it made me stop and reflect. I was like looking out into the sun and thinking, do you know what, I agree. And it was this: parents rarely let go of their children, so children let go of them. They move on, they move away. The moments that used to define them, a mother's approval, a father's nod, are covered by moments of their own accomplishments. I think that's part is self-explanatory, but it's fascinating how throughout the different stages of our lives we seek approval from different people. When I stopped to reflect on this, I thought, like in primary school, I sought approval from obviously my parents, are the first people that you want approval from, and then your school teachers, and then your classmates, and then you get older and, well, for the next 18 years it's still different school teachers, different classmates, and then you go into the adult world and you seek approval from your colleagues, your managers. And now with social media, a lot of people, us, yes, I'm self-aware, seek approval from online strangers. There are so many ways to seek approval from different people, but also I do think we get to a point, at least for me, I've got to a point where my approval comes from my own accomplishments. When I do something and I'm really proud of it, I feel great about myself. And in that moment, it's me giving myself a note of approval. But we all have to go through that stage. There's so many more, but I really do recommend this book. As it's summer now, I'm going to be reading more. I like to go out to the park and read, so I'll be doing more book reviews. So yeah, I do hope you read this, and if you do, DM me, let me know what you think, and also send me some book recommendations, anything philosophical, or that will give me a bit of an existential crisis, because I have a weird kink for that.